Yes.
All right, we're here with our next guest of the evening. Definitely a pleasure to have this young man on the line right now. He is one of the best light heavyweights in the world. He's currently the WBO World Light Heavyweight Champion. He's coming back to the United States on November 10th to defend his crown against the Irish outlaw Ryan Coyne at the Staples Center, not too far from here in Las Vegas, in Los Angeles, California. So without further ado, Mr. Nathan Cleverly, thank you for joining us here on ATG Radio tonight. It's it's definitely a privilege to have you on here to speak to you so close to your fight. How's everything going with you, champ?
Thank you. Everything is going really well. Thank you. Training's good. I've been training for a long time now. Good training camp, nice solid training camp, and I'm really looking forward to this opportunity to come back over to the States, where my last fight there was in 2008 as a young professional fighter, and it's a great opportunity for me to come back. And I enjoyed the first experience. It was a real great experience for me, boxing in Las Vegas, and now to return as world champion. I'm really looking forward to this. I've got a real good buzz about this fight, and looking forward to coming over.
Well, Ryan Coyne, he's the task at hand. He's a former cruiserweight, not very proven, but strong kid out of St. Louis, Missouri, here in the United States. What do you know about Ryan Coyne, and what was the whole selection process in picking him for your opponent to defend your title in the United States?
Well, and first and foremost, Ryan's an undefeated fighter, so regardless of who he's fought, he's never tasted defeat, so that's a good thing for him, and for me, it's something I need to take into account, because we're both unbeaten, so we've both never tasted defeat, and that proves we're hungry fighters. We've got the ability to win fights. So this could be a dangerous fight. Ryan, he's operated at heavyweight and cruiserweight, and now he's here at light heavy. So I think he's going to be a good challenge. I think he's going to be tough, and it's a golden opportunity for him. So he's going to try and take this with both hands, and I'm going to be prepared for that.
So is it without any disrespect to you? I mean, I look at it like this. I'm a fan, as is everybody that's on the line that's going to be talking to you today. We're a fan of yours. You're a very talented fighter. I enjoy your resume. I think you fought for your past, 10 fights. You fought nothing but stiff competition, and even in your last couple fights, you fought good guys. But I mean, for you coming into the United States, is it safe to say that this is against an undefeated fighter in Ryan Coyne? We've had Ryan Coyne on our show numerous times. He's a great individual. But is it safe to say this is a showcase fight for you to basically put the entire light heavyweight division, guys like Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins, Chad Dawson, John Pascal, guys like that on notice that you will come to the United States and fight tough guys?
Yeah, this fight is a great opportunity for me to prove a statement, and make a statement, come out to the United States prepared to travel over to the States and hopefully put on an excellent performance, and I think by coming out to America, it's a great opportunity for me to take my career to the next level. I think I've proved myself over in the UK, but I think to go over to the States and to do it will hopefully progress my career to that next level, and this is the statement I'm trying to make to set up those elite fights in the division. You've got the big names, you've got John Pascal, Bernard Hopkins, Cloud, Andre Ward. Those guys are real elite fighters, and for me to get into that category, I feel I need to make this move. So that's part of the reason behind this move.
Hey, Nathan, how you doing? This is Mark Abrams. Quick couple questions here. You just on what you just said. Very rarely do other promoters, fighters, wind up on like another promoter's card. You're Frank Warren. You're on a Golden Boy card. Golden Boy obviously has strong ties with Showtime, and it's no secret that your name has been linked with Bernard Hopkins over the last 4 or 5 months. Is there more to meet the eye? I know you mentioned guys like Pascal and other names, but would it be fair to say that this fight is being showcased for you to be zeroed in on Hopkins?
I think it's fair to say that this fight is for me to be showcased onto unification fights. I think I've spoke to my promoter, and I've kind of told him that the direction in which I want to go. I've told him that I won the big fights in 2013. So we've sat down and we know to make those fights I need to get exposure in America. I need for you guys to see me in action and hopefully make a statement in press. And these fights will be easier to make then, because at the moment I'm kind of a unknown in the US. So hopefully by going out and making a little bit of a statement, we can make these unification fights easy then in 2013, whether it's Shumenov or Trevoris Cloud, Hopkins. But that's the guys I'm looking at, those elite level fighters.
Were there, I've heard, I'm in Philadelphia, so I, I hear, some things that may be coming out of Hopkins' side. There were negotiations for that fight at some point in the last couple of months, if I'm not mistaken. Would that be correct?
Yeah, the negotiations were well underway, and I was verbally told that the fight was going ahead, and we was just waiting for written confirmation. And obviously the written confirmation arrived by email, just saying that they decided to pass on the fight. So it was a big disappointment for me, because that would have been a real dream fight for me to step in the ring with Bernard Hopkins, and it would have been a great test for me. Am I capable of stepping up to the elite level or not? So it was a great opportunity for me to prove to myself whether I could make that jump up or whether I was just at the level below. So that's the reason why I wanted these fights, to prove to myself as well that whether I was capable of becoming a real top A grade fighter.
I just got back from the fights last night in New York at the big Golden Boy card at the Barclays Center in the post-fight press conference. Nothing was mentioned, but they look like that they're going back there in January or February, and that's about the time I'm hearing Hopkins wants to fight again. So you feel if you win and win convincingly on November 10th, you think that is maybe a target date, January, February, for that fight to possibly happen?
I feel it's very possible. I feel if I come out to the States now, November the 10th, put on a real good performance, win in good fashion against maybe a tricky opponent in Ryan Coyne, undefeated fighter. If I remain world champion, then definitely a fight in January, February with Hopkins is definitely possible.
And obviously, he, and speaking of Bernard, he only wants fights that make sense in some degree. And obviously, for him to maybe break his own record, obviously you have that world title belt. For him to break his own record as being the oldest man to win a title, obviously, I would imagine that would be the carrot that you dangle for it to pique his interest as well.
Yeah, it's a big incentive. Obviously, it would be a good opportunity for him to try and break another record, because I hopefully by that stage would have remained world champion. So that's the inspiration for him, and for me it would be an inspiration for me to sit in the ring against a potential Hall of Fame fighter and test myself. So it would be a great fight for both.
Thanks.
Hey, Nathan, this is Tim Kudges. I just have one quick question for you. I've just been listening to the interview. I just want to know, if you had a choice, like tomorrow, say, to make your next fight, what would you prefer? A fight with a guy, a legend like Bernard Hopkins, or a unification fight with, say, Beibut Shumenov?
If I personally, if I had to pick one fight, it would probably be Shumenov in all truth, because I feel by it's a unification fight. There's another belt on the line, and that's my major ambition in the light heavyweight division is to go on and push for the unification fight. So I'd probably say Shumenov, and I think it's going to be a tough fight. I think if I wanted to progress and make step by step, I think that's the next step I would take to progress in my career. The only problem is Shumenov is not a big name in the division, so it could be difficult financially making the fight. Whereas Hopkins is, he's a real, pretty much legend in the boxing world. So, and I'm an up and coming world champion, so that's a good fight with more appeal. So we'll see how the situation works out and see which way we go. But either one of those fights, I could happily pick one of those fights out of a hat and contest those.
Hey Nathan, how you doing? This is Michael Frost.
Hi, mate.
Hey, all right. I've been hearing to talk about Bernard Hopkins and even Shumenov, but I got to ask this: Andre Ward just beat Chad Dawson, who moved down to 168, to challenge for that title. Right after that, they were actually talking. They were calling out Joe Calzaghe. I know you're very familiar with Joe Calzaghe being a former stablemate. Did you kind of consider that as disrespect? How they're saying there's no one able to fight Andre Ward, and they're calling off a guy that hasn't fought in years.
That one. Well, I think that is a compliment to Joe Calzaghe. I think Andre Ward calling out Joe Calzaghe is a compliment to Joe, because Andre Ward he's probably one of the best pound for pound fighters at the moment. He's proved that. Real good fighter, technically excellent. And I think personally, I don't really take it as an insult, because I'm still in the early stages of my world title reign. In all fairness, I'm still 25, so I've got a lot of time to go yet before being on these guys' radar. Before being on the radar of say Andre Ward. There's still a bit of time for me to go, but hopefully I'll get there. I believe I can get there, but obviously in terms of him calling out Joe, it's a long shot, definitely a long shot, because I think Joe is happy in retirement now, but I think obviously he doesn't see any more potential challenges around at the time, but maybe we can get there one day.
Well, I know that they kind of make all the rules. Andre Ward does. Basically, he don't want to go up in weight. He don't want to go to 175. He wants to stay at 168. I know managers and promoters make the decisions in your career, but as a fighter, if you had that offer from Andre Ward to go down to 168, could you do it, and would you do it?
If I was offered, probably would. I probably would. Yeah, I believe. I believe I could still make super middleweight, but ideally a catchweight would. If I was an option of fighting a great fighter at super middleweight, if we could do a fight at catchweight, that would be excellent. Because you're both giving and taking a little bit there. So I feel if a real super fight came in for a catchweight, that would be. I'd definitely do that, no doubt.
And my last question, I'm going to kind of, I'm going to kind of veer away from from you actually. It's a you know, there in England there's been a lot of drama, you know, with the heavyweights, a lot of smack talk, and Tyson Fury kind of going off on David Price and a guy you're very familiar with, Tony Bellew. What are your thoughts on all that drama going on, and do you think it's good for boxing, kind of building a fight, or do you think that it's bad?
How about a tag team boxing match, guys? How about we settle it that way? What do you think about that, dog?
Well, I think that fight, I think from all the hype that Fury's created himself now, I think that fight would be an unbelievably big sell. I think that fight would be huge. So you could say it's a good thing in that sense, especially for those guys on a business sense. It's a good move. And you know, he's probably playing the role of the bad guy, you know, because in a lot of great fights you often get the bad guy. This is the good guy, and I think Fury's obviously decided to take the role of the bad guy, but that's his choice, and you know, he can back it up because he is a good fighter. So you know, he doesn't just talk the talk. I feel he's a fighter who could back his words up. He's a real threat in that division.
And Nathan, you know, touching on what Dawes said, we had both David Price and Tyson Fury on the show last week. But Tyson Fury spoke in high regards to you. He said he's really excited about you coming to the United States to defend your title against Ryan Coyne, and you know, he was encouraging the listeners of our show to, you know, check you out and stuff like that. And that's what I kind of wanted to go back onto that. You know, give Tyson Fury a shout out. I know he's been getting a lot of flack lately for the comments after David Price's fight last week. But I got to ask you like this: you're still in Wales, I believe. You're still in the UK. I got to ask you, when are you coming to the States? I mean, there's an 8-hour time difference going on here. When are you planning to arrive to the States to get your body and your mind acclimated to the time zone difference?
It looks like we are heading out a week Wednesday, so we're going with 10 days in the States. So we feel that's the minimum time required. That's where I've been advised. So that's where we're going with 10 days.
Is that, you think that? I mean, I know you go with your team, you take the advice of your management, your advisement. But is that enough time though? Like I said, the 8 hours. It's not like you're going to New York, a 5-hour difference. You're coming to the Pacific Coast. Is that enough time to get your body prepared in there, get your lungs acclimated to the California weather?
Well, I remember when I went to Las Vegas and the first day training, my lungs was hurting real bad. So hopefully, you know, but I had 2 weeks out there at the time, and 2 weeks seemed enough at the time. So obviously it's going to be 4 days less this time, but I think that will be just enough. I think we'll just about be enough. And obviously to get over the jet lag and the 8 hours difference, I think we can, 10 days, we can just about get away with that.
Final thing, Nathan. Okay, Mark, did you have something else? Or Dawes?
Yeah, one quick question. I know, Nathan, you're one of the few college-educated fighters. I know a lot of your early career you were juggling between fighting, training, and going to school. Now I believe you graduated. How has that helped your boxing career, being that you don't have the rigors of school going on, that you can clearly just focus on boxing?
Yeah, it's great because at the time I was studying. I was a full-time student and in university, and obviously combining that with my professional career, and I was winning titles in the UK. And as I graduated from university, I went on to become world champion, and now I'm a full-time fighter. It's great to be able to focus on one thing now, and I've got a lot of time in the day to dedicate my life to boxing and train. So it's a lot easier now. It takes away the mental stress of the studying. So hopefully now that can help me push my career on improve, and improve my ability in boxing.
Did you ever bring your belt to class?
Yeah, many times. I was often showing off my belts down in class.
All right, hey Nathan. One final thing. Let's be fair to your opponent, Ryan Coyne, on the 10th. For promotion purposes. I mean, he was on the show 2 weeks ago. The day the fight was announced, he came on our show, and he said he's coming to win. He's coming to win by knockout. He feels everybody's underestimating him, the media, you are, everybody. Can you send one final message to Ryan Coyne for promotional purposes as a headline quote? He's coming to beat the living crap out of him or whatnot. Because he did. He said he's going to knock you out on the 10th. This is being fair to your opponent, Ryan Coyne. He said he's coming in. He's going to knock you out. He's leaving with the WBO World Light Heavyweight title. What do you have to say to Ryan Coyne?
My response is, for one moment, I'm not underestimating Ryan Coyne. And because of that, my preparation has been correct. And because my preparation has been good, Ryan Coyne has no chance of taking my world title from me. I've worked too hard all my life for this. And I'm coming over to America. I'm looking to put on a show, and I'm gonna beat this guy very badly and get the victory and remain world champion.
Nathan, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad we got an opportunity to get familiarized with you on our show. You're a world champion, man. You're not just, the champion of Wales, the UK, of Europe. You're the light heavyweight champion of the world, and we appreciate you spreading out to us and showing us love by, stopping on the show and talking some boxing with us. And we would love to welcome you back after the fight and, wish you all the best. I'm actually in Vegas going to make the trip out to the Staples Center, so when you see a crazy-looking guy and I say, hey, you remember me from the radio show, we'll keep in touch with you on that. But, the listeners can follow you on Twitter at Nathan Clev, NATHANCLEV. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
They can follow you on Twitter. Obviously, tune into his next fight on the 10th of November, Staples Center, Los Angeles, California. WBO World Light Heavyweight Champion Nathan Cleverly, champ. We appreciate your time, man. All the best to you on your upcoming fight, and God bless you, man.
Thank you. God bless. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.